powerful tool in the world for you to become a prolific network marketing recruiter. You know what it is? It's not your upline, and it's not your company. It's not your compensation plan. It's not your product. It's not a video. It's not an event. It is your story. Learning how to tell your story will open up every door in the world. Learning how to tell your story to your prospects will take them from being closed off to being open-minded. Will take them from being, no, I'm not interested, to tell me more. Will take them from wanting to run away sometimes to wanting to support you in your business. Learning how to tell your story. And some of you don't even know if you have a story, or maybe you don't feel like it's very special. I want to teach you today specifically how to tell your story. I'm going to take you to an event from GoPro and have you just experience a little piece of what that was about storytelling. Are we ready? All right, take them to the training. One of the most important things that you need to realize in our profession that's different than other people's professions is the power of your story. Your story is a bigger deal. Here, you don't talk to the corporate executive at the bank and say, well, let me tell you my story. The corporate executive doesn't talk to his friend, the attorney, and say, well, let me tell you my story. They just don't do that. It's very transactional. But a big part of how we help other people see the picture for themselves is for us to tell our story. Learning how to do that. Now, if I could give you any gift, it is that you learn how to tell your story incredibly well and effective, but not only that, that everybody on your team does it as a reflex, not as a, oh, I should tell the story. It's automatic. I've learned from one of my key mentors in the network marketing or in business, one of my key mentors. All business, write this down, please. It might take you a while for you to totally understand what I'm about to say, but let me tell you. All business is conversation. That's all it is. It's conversation. Your job is to start more conversations and keep them going. And in the conversation, you will find opportunity. Don't need to worry about the hard close and the fast sell and all that stuff. Don't need to worry about that. Just start the conversation. Keep the conversation going. And in the conversation, the magic will happen. So if people are talking, you and people in your group are talking about your business is in action. Your business is alive. If conversations have stopped, your business is dead. So your goal is to create conversation. What a better way to create conversation than through story? Story is amazing. So I'm going to teach you how to tell your story. 4 parts to telling your story. Part number 1, 4 elements. Element number 1 is your background. You are a firefighter. You are a business person. Give me some backgrounds real quick. Oil field. Massage therapist. Law enforcement. Medical auditor. Research assistant. Self-employed. Doing what? Lawn care business. Engineer. Military. Banking. Real estate. Fund manager. Corporate America what? Sales? IT. How about you? HR. How about you? Law enforcement. Everybody's got one. If you're a teacher, you're a firefighter, it doesn't matter. If you're a student, that's your story. I'm a student. You know? I wait tables. Whatever it is, everybody's got a story. So your background is part number 1. Part number 2 of your story is what you didn't like. What were the parts of that background that weren't perfect for you? Now, I'm not telling you you have to say, I hate my background. I was a teacher and I hate it. I'm not saying you have to do that. I work for a charity and I hate it. I'm not saying you have to do that. But there is something that is not perfect in any background. If you're a blue-collar worker, maybe it's hard on your body. Maybe it's dependent on the economy up and down. Maybe it's dependent on the weather, whether you're working or not. Unions, who knows? All kinds of things outside of your control. If you're a teacher, maybe you have to deal with politics. You're underpaid for what you're doing. You got to watch out in that world, and you are so passionate about it, but no matter how good you are, there's only so much they're going to pay you. Even if you're the best teacher in the world, there's only so much you're going to get paid to teach 6th grade English. I'm sorry, that's all you're going to get. Right? No matter what it is, there's something. Might be money, might be appreciation. It might be you're bored. There's no challenge anymore. There's something about it that causes you to search for something more. Part 3 of your story is that you found a solution. You found a solution. You found something that will help you to develop the other part of your life. You found a solution to being underpaid. You found a solution to being underappreciated. You found a solution to being out of control of your own future. You found a solution to having to kiss somebody's butt every single day that you don't respect. You found a solution. And then number 4 is how you feel about the future. How do you feel about the future now? How do you feel when you get up in the morning, now that you have a solution, now that you've found this thing, now that you've created this new path in your life? Even though you're maybe still full-time in that background. But now you've got a way where 3 years from now, 5 years from now, you can be living a different life. Okay? So, one of these 4 elements, and some of you follow my stuff, you know the answer to this question, so I won't do the big trick with you. But if you put up the 4 elements of the story, your background, what you didn't like, that you found a solution, how you feel about the future, one of those 4 is absolutely far and away the most important. And most people, first time they see this, they don't realize which one. And the answer is what you didn't like. Your dissatisfaction is the most important. Your pain is the most important. Because listen to me, nobody cares about how cool you are and how great your future is. And a matter of fact, they might resent it. Oh yeah, you're going to brag about how cool you are? Tell me more about your company. Tell me more about how excited about your future. You're acting all big shot, giving them all the facts. They don't care. They're not even listening. They're waiting for it to be over. What's most important is that you build a connection with another human being over your shared experiences, over your pain, over your hurt, over your challenges. That's what builds rapport. That's what makes people want to help. That's what makes people want to listen. It's the most important thing. Your prospects are going to be naturally guarded in the conversation if you don't just tell them your background and what you didn't like, and you build some rapport. Now, if you're going to do this with someone, and let's say you tell them your story, but they won't tell you theirs. Well, that's normal. My friend Tom Chenault is the absolute genius at this. He interviews everyone he meets. He interviews them. He just says, well, tell me about you. Where do you come from? What's your story? He asks them the 4 questions. What's your background? Were there any parts of your background that wasn't the perfect scenario? What was the good part? What was the bad part? What was the challenging part? If you could change any part, what would you change? He gets all this information, builds rapport with another human being, and then it's very easy for him through his story and through effective follow-up to build a connection and at least get a person to take a look with an open mind. That's the goal. So you need to develop the muscle of storytelling. Guess what most of you are really good at right now? Fact giving. Let me tell you how awesome my company is. Let me tell you how amazing my product is. Let me tell you how incredible the compensation plan is. Have I told you we're expanding into a new country? Have I told you we have this new tool? Let me blah, 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 blah. Nobody cares. Take a second, build rapport, build a connection with a real human being, and then they'll learn everything you got. Don't worry about it. Ladies and gentlemen, your story is a powerful example of the human spirit, and it will open doors that nothing else can open. No amount of logic or intelligence or fanciness is going to get past the rapport that you can build by telling your story to another human being. The 4 elements, if you haven't written them down, are your background, what you didn't like, your dissatisfaction about that background, your pain, you found a solution, and how you feel about the future.